This video is in response to a question I had from Julian, who bought one of our conversion guides and is having trouble finding the contours of the side of the van. So I'm going to show you how I do it. First of all, I make up these pieces of timber which I use as a scribe. Now with this, you just place a pencil in one of these holes like so, and then you can use this to scribe any shape that you like. These are easily made. It's just a thin strip of timber. Mine I've made 2 centimeters wide, and this line runs down the center at 1 centimeter. And when I show you how I use this line actually becomes quite important. You can make these any length that you like, but I've made mine long enough so that if we were here, for instance, that it's still long enough to reach down the side of the cupboard, and that's why I've got holes positioned all the way along the line. So if you make yourself one of these, Julian, and I'll then show you how to use it so that you can get the exact contours of the vehicle. Okay, now that you've made yourself one of these, let's see how to use it. Now I've already converted this van, so obviously I can't do it on the bare metal, but it's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it around this cupboard and this shelf. Now you don't want to be wasting timber for this, so what you want to do is to unpick a cardboard box. I've done this one here. I don't know if you can see, but it's quite long once it's unpicked. Go down to the floor. And that's what you can use for the side of the wall. I'm not going to use that piece. It's too big for what we want to do today. I'm going to use a smaller piece, which will be this piece that we'll put in here, and I'll show you how the scribe works. Okay, what we're going to do is to cut out this shape down here, round here and on there. But obviously you'll be doing the metal work of the van, but the procedure is exactly the same. I'm just going to stick that piece of cardboard there. Now with the scribe that you've made up, if we put it inside so it's touching and it's out to there, now we need to leave ourselves enough room. It's no good putting the pencil there, so we'll have the pencil in the end, and then all we need to do is to scribe down the piece of cardboard like so, and then underneath, and then I'll take the pencil out and I can just mark this level with the cupboard, and that's the bit we're going to cut out. That's the top section. I'll put this back in the top hole, and it's important that it goes in the same hole, and then I just mark the side of the van all the way down, and then again we'll come out, down over this piece and in. I'll tidy those up in a moment, and there's not quite enough cardboard for this other piece there at the moment. Right, once you've done that, you can just scribe across the top and again the bottom, not glued very tight at the top. Now that's ready to cut out. The reason for this line is, although that's the line that we drew, this bottom line is 1 centimetre lower than the line that we drew, because that's where the pencil mark is, and this needs to be in perfect alignment. So I'll just cut round that. Okay, so I'll just cut round this like this. And now we have this pattern cut out, and it should, and now you can see you've got the contours all the way round and down and follow all the way down. So once you make up yourself one of these scribes, you'll find it quite easy. There's not really much else I can say about it, but that's how to get the correct contours. Any of these rough edges, because these panels go in afterwards, they will all be hidden by the panel anyway, but if you want to, you can sand these down and get a really nice neat finish. But that's how you get the contours. So I hope this video was helpful, but bear in mind you'll be doing this on the metalwork of the van, so you won't have these cupboards to scribe round. I actually suggest that you practice at it, have a couple of goes at it, making sure that you get these pieces right, because remember that this has to line up with the pencil line on here. So once you've made the pencil line from there, it is going to be, as you can see, a centimetre higher. That's where this pencil line comes into play, so that you measure down 1 centimetre. I hope that explains it all for you. As I say, if you have a practice, you should find that you'll be able to cut the contours quite easy. You should be able to, using one of these scribes, get almost any shape that you like. So I hope that explains it all, and that's it for this video then.